Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Mark 5-13, Proverbs 28, and Psalm 90. Psalm 101. Let's start. When they came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gerasenes, and Jesus stepped out of the boat, and immediately they met him out of the tomb, and he was a man with unclean spirit. He lived among them too. And no one could bind him anymore, not even with a chain, for he had often been bound, shackled, and chains. But he wrenched the chains apart, and he broke the shackle in pieces. No one had the strength to subdue him. Lying dead among the tombs and the mountains, he was always crying out, covering himself with stones. He saw Jesus from afar, he ran and fell down before him, crying with loud voice, saying, "What did you do to me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I joy by God, do not torment me," saying to him, "Come unto me, you unclean spirit." And Jesus asked him, "Why did you know?" He replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." And he begged him earnestly not to send him out of the country. Now a great herd of pigs was feeding there, and the house, and he begged him, saying, "Send us to the pigs." And let us enter. So he gave them permission. Unclean spirits came out into the pigs, and the herd, numbering about 2,000, rushed down the steep bank into the sea and drowned in the sea. And it's no fun told in the sea in the country, and people came to see what it was that had happened. And he came to Jesus till the demon possessed man, and the one had the legs saying, "I cried in his right, and they were afraid. Those who see it described to them what happened to the demon possessed man to the pigs. And he began to beg Jesus to depart from their region. He was getting to bed. A man had been possessed with demons, begged him that he might be with him. And he did not come in, but said to, "Go home to your friends and tell them how much the Lord has done for you, and how he's had mercy for me." And I began to proclaim at the capital how much Jesus had done for him, and everyone marveled. And Jesus crossed again to the other side. A great crowd gathered about him. He was sad to see, and came one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name, and seeing him, fell at his feet and called him earnestly, saying, "My little daughter is at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her, so that she may be well." He goes, and a great crowd followed him and thronged about him. There was a woman who had discharged blood for 12 years. And he had suffered much under many physicians, spent all that she had, and there was no better but rather great worse. She had the report about Jesus again behind him, and her scholars, she said, "If I even tie her shoes, God shall leave me." And therefore her blood dried up. And dried out, she fell in the body, she was healed of that disease. And Jesus perceived when he saw the power of God from man, and immediately turned about in the crowd, saying, "He touched my garments," and his disciples said to, "You see the crowd pressing around you, you see who's touching you, you looked around me." After seeing her done, let the woman know what had happened to her, saying, "Tell me if I done before," and told them the whole truth, and said to Dory, "Effectively, you will go in peace and be healed of your disease." Those still speaking, they came from the ruler's house. Some answered, "Yours do. My child will teach you fair." Everything what they said, Jesus said to the temple ruler, "Synagogue, do not fear anybody." He allowed none to follow him except Peter and James, and John the brother of James. They came to the house of the Lord synagogue. And Jesus saw commotion, saw people weeping and wailing loudly, and entered and said to them, "Why are you making commotion and weeping?" He was caught up not to sleeping, and laughed at him when he put the law outside and took the child's father and mother and those who were with him, and where the child was. Taking him by the hand, said to him, "Come here." So his little girl, I say to you, eyes, and immediately the girl got up and began walking. And they were immediately overcome with amazement, and they strictly charged them that no one should know that, and told them to give us something to eat. Went away from there and came to his hometown, and the disciples followed him in the synagogue. So he began to teach us, and he heard was astonishing, "Where does man get these things? Where's the wisdom go to? How such money works done by his hand? Is not this the couple of son of Mary, and brother James, and Joseph, and Judas and Simon? And are not these sisters here with us?" And he took offense at him. And Jesus said to him, "His prophet is not found except his own hometown, and in his also in his own household. He did no mighty works except he laid his hands on the few sick people and healed them." And he marveled because of the unbelief, and he went out among the villagers teaching. He called the 12 and sent them out two by two, and gave them authority over unclean spirits. And he charged them to take nothing for their journey except staff, no bread, no bag, no money in their belts, but to wear sandals and not put on 2 cheeks. And he said to them, "Wherever you enter a house, stay there until you depart from there. And if any place will receive you, and they'll not listen to you. And you leave, shake off the dust that is on your feet and touch my weakness." And they went up and proclaimed that he should repent. They cast out many demons and anointed with all the room, and he was sick and healed them. He then Herod had refugees name to come there. Some said, "John the Baptist is raised from the dead." That's why these miraculous powers at work in him. Others say he's like, others say he's a prophet, like one of the prophets of old. When Herod heard of it, he said, "John, the other head has been raised." There's Herod who say, certainly C.Jun about him, Christopher for sake Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, as he married after John had been sent to Herod. It's not lawful to have your brother's wife. And Herodias had a grudge against him, wanted to put him to death. Then she came off, for Herod feared John, knowing that he was a righteous and holy man. And he kept him safe. When he heard him, he was greatly perplexed, and he heard him gladly. The opportunity came when Herod was about to give a banquet for his nose, the military commanders of the leading men of Galilee. And Herodias' daughter came in and danced. She placed Herod in his guest. And the king said to her, "Ask me for whatever you wish, I'll give it to you." And he vowed to her, "Whatever you ask me, I'll give you up to half my kingdom." And she went out and said to her mother, "Why should I ask?" And she said, "Head of John the Baptist." And she gave him immediately with haste to King Lazarus, saying, "I want you to give me at once the head of John the Baptist on the platter." And the king was exceedingly sorry, but because of his eyes and his guests, and he did not want to break his word to her. And immediately the king sent an executioner with order to bring John's head. He went and beheaded him, and the president brought his head on the platter and gave it to her. And Goat gave it to her mother. And the disciples heard of it. They came and took his body and laid it in a tomb. He opposed return to Jews, told him that they had done to him. And he said to him, "Come away by yourself to a desolate place and rest a while." For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to be. And he went away and went to a desolate place by themselves. Now many saw them going and recognized that they ran there on foot from all the towns and got their head there. And he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion on them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. When they grew, their disciples came to him and said, "This is a desolate place, and the hour is now late, so no way to go into surrounding countryside and villages. Let's have something to eat." And he answered, "You give them something to eat." And he said to him, "So go and buy 200 denarii worth of bread and give it to them to eat." And he said to them, "Well, how many loaves do you have?" And so they found out they said 5 and 2 fish. And he commanded them all to sit down groups on the grain bus. So they sat down groups 100 by 50. Take the 5 loaves of 2 fish. He looked at them and said, "Blessing," and broke the loaves. And he gave to the disciples to set before the people, and he divided 2 fish among them. And they all ate and were satisfied. And they took up 12 baskets of broken pieces of fish. And those who ate the loaves were 5,000 men. And immediately his disciples get into the boat and go from to the other side to the side. I dismissed the crowd. After he had taken leave of them, he went up on the mountain square, and even came the boat was out in the sea and was alone on the line. And he saw that they were making headway painfully, for the wind was against them. And then about the 4th watch of the night, he said to them, "Walk on the sea." He went to pass by them, and they saw him walk on the sea. They thought it was a ghost. For they all saw him and were terrified. Immediately he spoke to them and said, "Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid." And he got into the boat with it. And when seas no other stand, and they did not understand about the loose. Their hearts were hardened, and they crossed over. They came to land and more to shore. And he got out of the boat. The people immediately recognized him, and ran up with the whole region and began to bring in the sick people on the beds to wherever they heard he was. And whenever he came to villages, cities, or countryside, he laid the sick in the marketplace and implored them that they might touch it, and the fringes gone. And as many as were touched it were made well. And the Pharisees gathered to him with some of the scribes who had come from Jerusalem. And he saw that some of his disciples lay with hands that were to fill, as unwashed. And the Pharisees and the scribes asked him, "Why do your disciples not walk according to tradition of the others?" He with defiled hands, he said to them, "Well, do Isaiah prophesy of the hypocrites? He puts on you as their list, the house of in vain did worship you, teaching us the doctrines and commandments of men. You lead to commandment of God and hold to tradition of men." And he said to the Father, "You have a far way rejecting the commandment of God, and in order to establish your tradition. For Moses said, honor your father and mother, and whoever was a father and mother will surely die. You see, if a man tells father and mother, whatever you gain from me is Corbin, then you are no longer permitted to do anything for his father and mother. And thus making boy the word of God by tradition, you've handed and many such things you do." And he called the people up and said to them, "Hear me, all of you, and understand there is nothing outside a person that by going into him can to fill. The things that come out of a person that are what to fill, and enter the house and let the people his disciples bless them." And about the crowd, but he said to them, "Then I also without saying, you don't see that whatever goes in a person from outside cannot defile. His enters not as hard, but the stomach is expelled." And he said, "What comes out of a person is what defiles it. Well, from within, out of the heart of man can be thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, covering, wickedness, deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within, and they defile a person." And there he went arose and went away to the region of Silence. And into Hasdale wanted anyone to know, yet it could not be hidden. But immediately a woman, his little daughter, and the Great Spirit came to heard of him and came to and fell down his feet. Now the woman was a Gentile, Sarah, and seen by birth. And she begged him to cast the demon out of her daughter. He said, "And to let the children be fed first, it is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs." She answered, "Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs." He said to her, "For the statement you may go your way." Demons left her daughter. She went home and found the child lying bed, and the demon gone. He returned from the region time and went through Syria into the sea to Decapolis. Galilee, in the region of Decapolis, they brought him in the man who was deaf and speech impediment. They begged him to lay his hand, and taking him aside from the crowd privately, he put his fingers into his ears, and after speaking, touched his tongue. Looking up to him, he said to Ephatha, which says, "Let his be open." And as his ears were open, his tongue was released, and he spoke plainly. And Jesus charged him to tell no one. And the more he charged, the more the zealous they looked at him. They were astonished beyond measure, saying, "He's done all things well. He makes even the deaf hear and the mute speak." In those days, when again a great crowd gathered, they had nothing to eat. He called his disciples to him and said to him, "I have compassion on the crowd, because they've been with me now 3 days and nothing to eat. They send me away hungry too, and still faint on the way." And some of them had come from far away, and the disciples answered, "Here come on, feed these people with bread here." And this place he asked them, "How many loaves do you have?" They said, 7. And he directly cast it down the ground. He took the 7 loaves, having given thanks, he gave thanks, and broke them and gave to his disciples. And he set before the people, and gave them, and they set them before the crowd. And he had a few small fish, having blessed them, and he said that they should also be set before them. And they ate all satisfied, and took the broken pieces, left over 7 baskets full. And there were about 4,000 people. And he sent them away. Immediately he got into the boat with his disciples and went to Joshua, Adam, and he said, and the Pharisees came and began to argue with him, saying, seeking from him a sign through heaven to test him. He signed deeply in spirit and said, "Why does this generation seek a sign? Truly I say to you, no sign will be given to this generation." And he left and got into the boat again and went to the other side. And they had forgotten to bring bread, and they had only one left with them in the boat. He cautioned them, saying, "Watch out, beware the leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod." And we began to discuss with one another the fact that they had no bread. And Jesus, aware of this, said to them, "Do I discuss the fact that you have no bread? Do you not yet perceive or understand? Are your hearts hardened? Having eyes, do you not see? Having ears, do you not hear? And you do not remember? When I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000, how many baskets full of broken pieces did you take up?" He said to him, 12. And the 7 for the 4,000, how many baskets full of broken pieces did you take up? He said to him, 7. And he said to him, "Do you not yet understand?" And he came to Bethsaida. Some people brought to him a blind man, begged him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the village. And he stood on his eyes, laid his hands, and he asked him, "Do you see anything?" He looked up and said, "I see people. They look like trees walking." And Jesus laid his hands and eyes again, and he opened his eyes. The sight was restored, saw everything clearly. And he said, "Enter into his home, saying, 'Do not even enter the village.'" And Jesus entered on with the disciples to the village of Caesar. I fell by. On the way, he asked the disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" And he told them, "John the Baptist, I'll say Elijah, and others, one of the prophets." He answered, "But who do you say that I am?" Peter answered, "You are the Christ." And he strictly charged them to tell no one about it. And he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things, be rejected by the elders and chief priests, and scribes be killed. After 3 days, rise again. And seeing these plainly, Peter took him aside again to rebuke him. Returning and saying his disciples to rebuke Peter, and said, "Get behind me, Satan, all of you. You are not standing on the things of God, but on the things of men." And calling the crowd to him with the disciples, he said to them, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take his cross and follow me. Whoever is to save his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel will save it. For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? What can a man give in return for his soul? Whoever is ashamed of me and his words and his adulterous and twisted generation. And of him will the Son of Man is to be ashamed when he comes to the glory of his Father with the holy angels." He said to him, "Truly I say to you, there are some staying here who will not taste death until the city kingdom of God after his cometh back." After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter and James and John, and led them up a high mountain by themselves. He was transfigured before them, and his clothes became radiant, intensely white, so that no one on earth could bleach them. And they appeared to him in Elijah with Moses, and talking with Jesus. And Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." And we do not know what to say, for we were terrified. And a cloud overshadowed them, and a voice came out of the cloud, "This is my beloved Son, listen to him." Suddenly looking around, they didn't look so anyone with them, but Jesus knew me. And as they were coming down the mountain, he charged them to tell no one what they see. And so the Son of Man rose from the dead, so they fled the mountain themselves, questioning what this rising from the dead might mean. And he asked them, "Why did Christ say that first Elijah must come?" He said to them, "Elijah just come first to restore things, and how it is written, so the Son of Man that he should suffer many things, be true and content." And we showed that Elijah is come, and they did to him whatever they pleased. It's really not him. And they came to the Sabbath, they saw a great crowd of them. And scribes argued with them. Immediately all the crowd, they saw him greatly amazed and ran to him greatly. He asked them, "What are you arguing about with me?" He resolved the crowd and said, "Do Jack brought my son to you? For his spirit that makes him me, whenever it sees him, it throws him down. He foams and grinds his teeth and comes to riches." So I asked the disciples, "Christ, you are not when he answered, 'O faithless generation, how long am I to be with you? How long am I to bear with you? Bring him over to me." And they brought a boy to him, and the spirit saw him, immediately convulsed the boy, and fell on the ground, and rolled about, fragment to mouth. And Jesus asked his father, "How long has this been happening to him?" He said, "From childhood, he was cast into fire and into the water to destroy him. If you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us." And Jesus said to him, "If you can, all things are possible for one who believes." And he needed the father of the child. The child cried out and said, "I believe, help my unbelief." And Jesus saw that the crowd came running together. He rebuked them, his friends, saying to him, "You may in desperate command, you commanded him and never entered again." And after crying and convulsing him terribly, it came out of the boy, and the boy was like a corpse. So the messenger said, "Well, he is dead." Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up. And he arose, and he entered the house. His disciples asked apparently, "Why could we not cast it?" He said to them, "This kind cannot be driven out by anything but prayer." And he went off from there and passed through Galilee. He did not want anyone to know. He was teaching his disciples, saying to them, "The Son of Man is going to be delivered into hands of men. He will kill him, and he is killed. After 3 days he will rise." They did not understand, saying, and they were afraid to ask him. When they came to keep him when he was in the house, they asked him, "What were you discussing on the way?" They kept silent, for on the way they had argued with one another about who was the greatest. He sat down and called the 12, and he said to them, "If one of them will be first, he must be last of all and second of all." He took a child of wood and put him in the midst of it, and taking him in his arms, he said to him, "Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me. Whoever receives me receives not him, but him who sent me." John said to him, "Teacher, we saw someone casting out demons in your name." We tried to stop him, because he was not following us. And Jesus said, "Do not stop him, for one who does my work in my name will be able to enough to speak with me. For from the one is not against us to force. Truly I say to you, whoever gives you a cup of water to drink, because you belong to Christ, will by no means lose his reward. And whoever calls one of these little ones who believe in me to say, it will be better for him if a great millstone were hung around his neck and bring him with him to see. If your great hand calls you to sin, cut off. It is better for you to enter life crippled than your 2 hands to go to hell, to unquenchable fire. If your foot calls you to sin, cut off. It is better for you to enter life lame to be thrown to hell. If I cause you to disinherit, I expect you to enter the kingdom of God one night, to be thrown to hell. Where your worm does not die, and the fire is not quenched. Everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good. The salt has lost its saltiness. How do you make it salty again? Have salt in yourselves, really peace with one another. And then you left them went to region Judah and beyond the Jordan, and crowds gathered to again. And again, this was the custom he taught them. Everything came up in all the test of knowledge. It is unlawful for a man to divorce his wife. And he said, what did Moses command you? And he said, Moses allowed a man to write a certificate of divorce and send away. And Jesus said to him, because your heart is high, you read this command, but from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. Therefore, a man shall lose the father and mother, hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. You are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore goes joined together, let no man separate. In the house of the disciples asked him again about this man. He said to her, who divorces his wife and marries another, commits adultery against her. And she divorces her husband and marries another, she commits adultery. You bring children to him that he might touch them, and his disciples rebuked him. And Jesus saw he was indignant and said to her, let the children come to me, and tell him that if Jesus belongs to the kingdom of God. Truly I say to you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of God like a child shall not enter. He took his arms and was not laying his hands on him. And sitting on the journey, a man ran up and knelt before him and asked him, good teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life? And Jesus said to him, why do you call me good? No one is good except God alone. You know the commandments, do not murder, do commit adultery, do not steal, do not bear false witness, do not defraud your father and mother. He said to him, teacher, all these I kept from my youth. Jesus looking at him loved him and said to you, like one thing, go, sell what you have and give to poor. You will have treasure in heaven, come follow me. Disarmed by saying, he went away sorrowful for your great possessions. And Jesus looked around and said to his disciples, how much more difficult will it be for those who are well to enter the kingdom of God? And the disciples were amazed at his words, and Jesus said to them again, John, how difficult it is to enter the kingdom of God. It is easy for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God. You have seen these nights, said to him, and who can enter and be saved? And Jesus looked at him and said, with man it is impossible, and all with God. All things are possible with God. Peter began to say to the sea, we have left everything and followed you. Jesus said, truly I say to you, there is no one who has left house or brothers or sisters or mother, father, children, or lands for my sake and for the gospel, who will not receive 100-fold now this time, houses and brothers and sisters and mothers and children and lands, with persecution in the age to come eternal life. Many who are first will be last, and last first. And they were on the road going to Jerusalem. Jesus was walking ahead of them. They were amazed, and those who followed were afraid. And taking the 12 again, he began to tell them what was to happen to him, saying, see, we are going to Jerusalem. Some men will be delivered over to chief priests and scribes. They will come down to death and deliver me over to Gentiles. They will mock and stone him, flog and kill him. After 3 days he will rise. And James and John, sons of Zebedee, came to him and said to him, teacher, what are you to do for us? Whatever you ask. And he said to him, what do you want me to do for you? And he said to him, grant us to sit one at your right hand and one at your left in your glory. Jesus said to him, why do you not know what you ask? Are you able to drink the cup that I drink? Will we baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized? They said to him, we are able. And Jesus said to him, the cup that I drink, you will drink. With the baptism with which I am baptized, and you will be baptized. But to sit in my right hand and my left is not mine to grow. It is for those to whom it is preferred. And the 10 ahead, they began to be indignant at James and John. And Jesus said to them, and called them to him and said to him, you know that those who consider was the Gentiles Lord over them, and the great ones exercise authority over them. You shall be sir among you, but whoever will be great among you must be a servant. Whoever be first among you must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. And he came to Jericho. And he was leaving Jericho with disciples, a great crowd. Bartimaeus, a blind beggar, son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside. And he heard there was Jesus now, so he began to cry out and say, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And then he rebuked him, telling him to be silent. And he cried out all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. And Jesus stopped and said, call him. And he told the blind man, saying, take heart, get up. And he was calling you. And throwing off his cloak, Spirit came to Jesus. And Jesus said to him, what do you want me to do? And the blind man said to him, Rabbi, let me recover my sight. And Jesus said to him, go your way, faith has made you blind. Immediately he recovered the sight and followed them away. And they drew near to Jerusalem, to Bethphage and Bethany on the Mount of Olives. Jesus sent to his disciples, said to them, go into the boat in front of you. Immediately as you enter it, you will find a colt tied, on which no one has ever sat. Untie and bring it. If anyone says to you, why are you doing this? Say, if the Lord is near, then I'll send it back in immediately. And they went away and found the colt tied on the door outside the streets, and they untied it. Some of those standing there said to him, what are you doing untying the colt? And they said, hold on what Jesus said, and they let them go. They brought the colt to Jesus and spread their cloaks, and they sat on it, and they spread their cloaks on the road. As for the leafy branch, they cut from the fields, and those who went over and followed were shown. Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. And this is coming kingdom of our Father, dear. Hosanna, as he entered Jerusalem, went to temple, and there found everything was already ready. When they went to Bethany, it was 12. On the following day, when he came from Bethany, he was hungry, and seeing them with just the fig tree in there. He went to see if he could find anything on it. He came to and found nothing but leaves. He was not seed of figs, and he said to him, no, may no one ever eat fruit from you again. The disciples said that he came to Jerusalem, into the temple, and began to drive at those who saw. There was a bull and hungry. Everything to get with other money changed seats of those salt bridges. Do not allow anyone to carry anything through the temple, and teach and saying to him, is it not written, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations? He had made it down that was chief priests and scribes had it was seeking a way to destroy him. They feared him because all the crowd was astonished at his teaching. The evening came, they went to see. And he passed by the water. They saw the fig tree with the white church. So Peter wrote and said to him, Rabbi, look, the fig tree that he curses with it. And Jesus answered, have faith in God. Sure I say to you, no whoever says this not to be taken up and thrown into the sea, does not doubt in his heart, but believes what he says will come to pass, will be done for him. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you received it, and it will be yours. Whatever you stand praying for, if you have anything against it, anyone, to your Father who is in heaven, may forgive you your trespasses. And he came again to Jerusalem, walking in the temple of the chief priests, saying, And the scribes and elders came to him and said to him, by what authority are you doing these things? Who gave you this authority to do that? He said, I'll ask you one question, I'll tell you about what authority to do these things. Was baptized of John from heaven from man, and it's been discussed with one man, and I'll say, you say from heaven, he'll say, why then do you not believe what you say from there? You are afraid of the people, they hold that John really was a prophet. Saying to the Jews, we do not know, and Jesus said, neither will I tell you about what authority to do these things. You begin to speak them in parables, and man planted a vineyard, and put a fence around, and dug a pit for the winepress, and built a town, and released it to towns and went to another country, and he seized 10 cents to the towns to get from some of the fruit of the vineyard. They took him and beat him and sent away empty handed. Again they sent another seven. They struck him on the head and shoot him sharply. Again they sent another, and him they killed. There's so many others, some they beat, some they killed. There's still one other below the sun. He sent them to them, so they respect my son. They turned said to one another, this is the heir, come, let's kill, and the inheritance will be ours. They took him and killed and threw him out of the vineyard. What will the owner of the vineyard do? He will come and destroy the tents and give the vineyard to others. Having not read the description, they said that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. This is the Lord's doing, is marvelous in our eyes. And they were seeking to arrest him, fear the people, for they perceived he had torn the power against them. So they left him and went away. And they came to his son, sent us on the Pharisees, some he Herodians. The trapper and his talk, and they came and said to him, you know that you are true and do not care about anyone's opinion. You're not swayed by appearances. Okay, so the Trinity sway God's lawful to pay taxes to Caesar. And should we pay that or should we not? And knowing the hypocrisy said to him, why don't you two times bring me denarius and let me look at it? And they brought one. He said to him, there's like this is inscription as this is to Caesar's. Jesus said to him, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar, and to God the things that are God's. And they marveled at it. And so he came to him, and he came to say that there's no resurrection anywhere else. And the question said, teacher, Moses wrote for us if a man's brother dies and leaves a wife or leaves no child, and he must take a widow and raise up offspring for his mother. There are 7 brothers. The first took a wife and he died, left no offspring. The second took and died, leaving no offspring. And the third likewise, and 7 left no offspring. Well, after all, the woman those who died in the resurrection when they rise again, whose wife will she be? For the 7 had his wife. He said to him, is this not the reason you are wrong? Because you know neither scripture nor the parable. For when they rise and dead, they neither marry nor give in marriage, but they're like angels in heaven. As the dead being raised, have you not read in the book of Moses and passage about the bush? How God spoke to, I'm the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He's not God of the dead, but of the living. You're quite wrong. Now when the scribes came over and had them speak with one another, saying that he has more. Asked him, when commandment is most important of all, Jesus answered, and his most important is here is the Lord our God, the Lord's one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. And second is this, you shall love your neighbor yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. And the scribe said to you, are right, teacher. You truly said that he is one. He is no other besides him. To love with all your heart, and with all this understanding and all the strength, and to love one's neighbor as oneself is much more than all whole burnt offerings and sacrifices. And Jesus saw that he answered wisely. He said to him, you are not far from the kingdom of God. And after that, no one dared to ask him any more questions. Jesus told him the temple, he said, how can the scribes say that the Christ is the son of David? David himself, the Holy Spirit declared, Lord said to my Lord, sit on my right hand, talk of your enemies under your feet. David himself calls him the Lord, so how is he a son of the great throne heard him gladly. In his teaching he said, beware the scribes who like to walk around along roads and like greetings in the marketplaces, have the best seats in the synagogue, and the places on their feast, who devour widows' houses for apprentices, make long prayers, they'll receive the great condemnation. He sat down opposite the church and watched people putting money in the offering box. And people put in large sums. A poor widow came and put in 2 small copper coins, which make a penny. And he called the disciples in them and said to them, surely I say to you, this poor widow put in more than all those who have contributed to the offering box. They all contributed out of their abundance. She, out of her poverty, put in everything she had, all that she had to live on. This is Proverbs 28. The wicked flee when no one pursues the righteous are bottom of the land, and when the land transgresses, they lose the land, one staying, or just severely long continue. The poor man who oppresses the poor is obedient, and they lose no fruit. Those who seek the law praise the wicked. Those who keep the law strive against it. Even men do not understand justice. Those who seek the law understand clearly. Yes, the poor man walks in integrity, but the rich man is crooked in his ways. One who keeps the law is son with understanding. His companion of shames follow. The Lord cries welfare, interest, and product goes with him, is generous to all. None turns his ear from him, but leaders disgrace and nation. Major slaves that rent to the world, want to exempt it. Their blameless will have a goodly inheritance. The rich man's wise in his own eyes. The poor man does understand will find him. And the righteous triumph there's great glory. When the right people have so whoever considers transgression not prosper. He who confesses and forsakes and will obtain mercy. Blessed the one who fears the Lord always. Live the heart of his heart with all the calamity. Like a royal line no charging back. He is a wicked all over all poor people. All who lacks understanding is a cruel oppressor. And he hates unjust gain will prolong his days. Once bitten with the blood of another, he will be a fugitive until death. Then no one help him. Whoever walks in terror will be delivered. He who is crooked in his ways will suddenly fall. Whoever works his land will punish. He who falls with pursues no plenty of poverty. A faithful man will abound with blessings. Whoever hastens to be rich will not go unpunished. Sharper shouting is not good. For a piece of bread man will do wrong. A stingy man hastens after wealth and does not know that poverty will come upon him. Whoever rebukes a man will after find more favor. Then he flies with his tongue. Whoever robs his father's mother and says there is no transgression, is a praying man to a man in strife. The greedy man says strife. One who trusts in law will be enriched. Whoever trusts his own man is a fool. He who walks in wisdom will be delivered. Whoever gives to poor no one. He who finds his own will be curse. When the wicked rise, people have such, when they perish, the righteous increase. Psalm 101. I'll sing steps not just to your law, make me jump under the way this time. So when we come to you, I'll walk with integrity heart within my house. I will not step before my eyes anything that's worthless. I hate the work of this before, shall not cleanse him. The first heart shall be forth, man. No, no, nothing evil. I'll stand his neighbor secretly, I'll destroy whoever is holy looking arrogant, harm, no angel. I look for favor in the fruitful land, they may join with me. He walks in the way that's man shall miss the no one who practices deceit shall dwell in my house. No one who utters lies shall continue before my eyes. Only but will destroy the wicked man, can therefore the evil doesn't see the Lord. And that's nation of the Lord's traffic, power, his father, and happy, and it can become done as in heaven. Be said there, if this is to depth, cease not to hate him to this evil. This is the kingdom of heaven, the good forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.